Welcome to Will's Week in Whiskey, a weekly YouTube show brought to you by the PodCask, where I get into some of the news and other happenings in the world of whiskey. Pretty straightforward. If you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell so that you'll get notifications every time I post a new video. So, what's going on in the world this week? Well, WhistlePig has announced their annual Boss Hogg release. So this is the seventh iteration of this, and it's called Magellan's Atlantic. And it's a 17-year-old straight rye whiskey, starting off in that American oak, and then they finish it in some casks made from Spanish trees from the mountainous forest of northern Spain, and then they finish it a second time in South American teak wood. It pays tribute to Ferdinand Magellan, the explorer. So the pig, the pewter pig on top in the stopper, looks like an explorer, very interesting looking. They do all the different ones. They had the Black Prince a few years ago where the pig was a knight. And so those are kind of a collectible thing, but it also, all of that design work adds up to the cost of the bottle. So I assume that we will see this one pretty available once again because of the hefty price tag around the $500 mark. It does tend to sit on shelves. So if you're into the WhistlePig line and the specifically the Boss Hogg, this is something you'll probably be able to find, but you got to pay for it. Check that out. It's releasing this fall, and it is going to be a single barrel. So we know that these barrel-proof single barrels are going to be in the 105.1 to 107.8 proof range. So be on the lookout for that if you're a WhistlePig fan. Next, we're going to be seeing a lot more Long Branch in our social media feeds coming up because the Campari Group has announced their first global social media and digital campaign with their creative director, Matthew McConaughey, at the brand. We know this is the whiskey that was launched in 2018 as a partnership really between Wild Turkey and Matthew McConaughey as that creative director role. We didn't really know what that meant at the time other than kind of the short film they put out surrounding the launch of the brand. But we know that this campaign he's kind of the face of, and it's called Wonder What If. And the very first release of this campaign was on his Instagram page, and it's Matthew McConaughey sitting in a field. He's got a glass of whiskey in his hand. You know, he's just smelling it, and he says, "What if mesquite and oak were throwing a party at the lake house?" And in his kind of whimsical humor, he laughs and says, "I'd go to that party." And it's humorous. Check it out over at his Instagram page. I think it's officially McConaughey is his handle. So check that out. It's pretty funny, but I do feel like that the Campari Group is going to be putting the ad dollars behind this. And if you're watching this video, your back-end data probably shows that you like whiskey and bourbon. So they'll target you like they'll target me, and we'll be seeing a lot of these ads. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I like Matthew McConaughey. Long Branch is kind of a mixed reviewed whiskey for a lot of us in the whiskey community, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of humor or different campaign ads they put out and what it'll also do to maybe new spirits drinkers, new bourbon drinkers, if that'll really, get them to latch onto the brand and come into the fold. So we'll see what it does. Finally, today we have a announcement about an Old Forester Fall Limited Edition. Nope, not talking about birthday bourbon. We are talking about the Old Forester 150th anniversary release. They have announced that there is going to be a limited release. It's coming out in October, so not too far off, and it is celebrating the 150th anniversary of George Gavin Brown when he decided to bottle in amber bottles his whiskey, the Old Forester bourbon. They have claimed for the longest time and as a part of their marketing material that Old Forester is the first bottled bourbon. So they are releasing this special release in tribute to that, and to also to have another product out there. It comes in a tube that looks very nice. It's the traditional Old Forester bottle, but with a new label. There's going to be 3 batches of them. So if you're a King of Kentucky fan, you are probably going to want to hang around and try to find this because it does kind of bring to mind that kind of style of a release for them. There's going to be 3 batches. Like I said, all the batches are comprised of anywhere from 46 to 53 barrels, and they're all in the mid 120s proof. And they're going to retail for about $150, which I think is very appropriate for the 150th anniversary bottle. So check that out if you're interested. As I said, it should be released and starting to make its way into markets in October of this year. So that's all I've got for you on this edition of Will's Week in Whiskey. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, subscribe to our YouTube page right here. Ring the bell and you'll get notifications when we put new videos out. And also, if you're not a PodCask listener, it's my buddy Grease and I. We do a podcast that is whiskey-tainment, as we like to call it. We talk about whiskey, we talk about our lives, and we hang out and have a good time. You can find that at thepodcask.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time on Will's Week in Whiskey.